To the president, you have enjoyed peace as far as the Niger Delta people is concerned, because the Ijaw people have given you peace. You have enjoyed all level of peace. Watching your minister, because I don't want to think that Wike is acting his own script. It has happened in the history of Nigeria when a Yoruba man was that this is a plot to kill another Ijaw son. Yes. Ijaw nation will resist this by any means necessary, because we live by the doctrine of self-determination and resource control by any means necessary. We are not a conquered entity. Mr. President, we love you as a people. We want peace for your administration. Please call your minister Wike to order. He shouldn't cause breakdown of law and order. Because remember, all the oil that fuels this nation still lies in our territories. And we can pursue everybody. We own this land. It is our land. We will not compromise the integrity and the interests of our people. Mr. President, we call on you to call your minister Wike to order. You cannot be on a bottle of whiskey.
Who is the president of Nigeria? A lot of people have asked this question and nobody knew the answer. Is it Nyesom Wike or President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? He owns the titled president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But who is controlling Nigeria? Everybody knows Nyesom Wike. Now, in today's video, we're going to be deliberating on the invasion. I will not call it a state of emergency, the invasion of Rivers State, and what has happened between Nyesom Wike, Fubara, and how the president, the so-called president, addressed the whole issue. Thank God that as everybody is talking about these whole issues, but I want you guys to watch how the Arise TV News dealt with this whole case. Why did President Bola Ahmed Tinubu take over Rivers State, and why did he suspend Governor Fubara for 6 months? We'll be right back to do some messages into the video.
Okay, very quickly. Let me first come in from an interpretation of the Constitution, which the President himself highlighted. He said he was acting within the purview of Section 305 of the Constitution. Section 305 of the Constitution explains the circumstances under which the President shall declare a state of emergency. And the conditions are properly stated. If the country is facing a threat of war or imminent war, is Nigeria facing the threat of war in Rivers State? That's one question. It also talks about, a situation whereby something could happen in any part of the Federation where, Nigeria could find itself in a chaotic situation. The President is required to act. Number 3, where the governor in that particular state does not immediately respond, to the crisis situation and does not approach the President to act in the national interest. So those conditions are properly spelled out. However, that same Section 305 says that the President, will give a proclamation which will be gazetted, and then will go to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly, if it's in session within, 48 hours, would act. If it's in recess, within 10 days, will act. If the National Assembly does not consider that particular proclamation, gazetted proclamation, valid, then it will vote otherwise. 2/3 majority of the two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. And if that happens, the decision is abated. Okay? Now, because we are constrained by time, let me now say that Section 305, which the President quoted, is the operative principle. Now, let's look at what the President said. I think that the President has violated the Constitution, even within the purview of Section 305. And he has violated the Constitution because he was not properly advised to respect that section of the Constitution. In what regard did he violate that section of the Constitution? In fact, he acted as a dictator by saying that the administrator that he has appointed can make regulations and laws will be made for the River State House of Assembly henceforth by the Federal Executive Council. The Federal Executive Council does not have such powers. Section 11 of the same Constitution says that, look, when there is a state of emergency, it's only the National Assembly that can make laws for a state House of Assembly. Now, President Tinubu has appropriated unto himself the powers to make laws for the River State House of Assembly. That's an impeachable offense. I don't know whether the National Assembly will have the courage either to reject his gazetted proclamation or to proceed on an issue of impeachment against him for violating the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, the other relevant portion of the Constitution is Section 188. Section 188 of the Constitution spells out how a governor can be removed from office. A governor cannot be removed from office by the proclamation of the President of Nigeria. It can only be removed if there is gross misconduct, as put as an allegation by the House of Assembly, and then the CJ is advised to form a panel of reasonable people, people of distinguished qualities in the state. And if that panel now decides, within the purview of Section 188, that those allegations are wrong, that puts an end to that process. The president has not followed that. He has acted unilaterally. Section 1, subsection 2 of the same Constitution says that this country, called Nigeria, cannot be governed except by the provisions of the Constitution. There is no provision in the 1999 Constitution that says that the president of Nigeria can unilaterally remove a governor, remove the deputy governor, remove the legislature of a state in Nigeria. So again, that proves that this is a violation of the Constitution. I go to the third leg of my analysis, which is to say that who advised the president? The people who advise the president must be called to order. Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, is a very distinguished lawyer. I don't understand how Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, arrived at this advice. And I also say that retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, if he's a patriot and a citizen, he must reject this appointment, making him sole administrator of River State, because it is a wrong appointment and his own integrity has been called to order. Whatever may be the motivations, he must act as a citizen and issue a statement forthwith to say that he will not be party to the violation of the Constitution. Now, what argument are they putting up? It has been said that, Obasanjo did this when he was president. After all, he removed Dariye in Plateau, he removed Fayose in the Ekiti. Look, at that time, Akinolu Jimi, SAN, who was Attorney General, was relying, I think, on the 1960 Constitution. The explanation that he offered, that the 1960 Constitution and the emergency, the Declaration of State Emergency Act of 1961, allowed the federal government to remove a governor or remove a legislature. Now, it was wrong. Because at the time he was making that statement, with due respect, the operative law in Nigeria was, either it was the 1999 Constitution. So Akinolu Jimi saying it was 1960 Constitution, 1961 Declaration of Emergency Act, was just using political expediency to justify the illegality that President Obasanjo engaged in. And people who are quoting the Obasanjo president must realize that an armed robber cannot say that because one armed robber got away with it, so you also have a right to commit armed robbery. That is wrong. The second point that I would like to make, again with due respect, is that people have been referring to the Jonathan period, that Jonathan declared state of emergency in about 3 states of the Federation, Adamawa, Borno, I think Yobe. Now, that argument has been settled by Mohammed Bello Adoke, who was Attorney General of that time, in his book, The Burden of Service. I don't remember the specific pages. But as a reviewer of that book, I reviewed that book on the back page of this. I recall that Mohammed Adoke argued that there's nowhere in the Constitution that the president is empowered, that's 1999 Constitution, that the president is empowered to remove a sitting governor or remove a sitting House of Assembly. And that was why under President Jonathan, no governor was removed, no deputy governor was removed, no state House of Assembly was sacked, no local government chairman was even removed in those 3 states. So the people who are just making argument about president, they are speaking out of ignorance. And I recommend Adoke's book for them to find that explanation.
Now, I also want you guys to watch this particular video of feeding him on how he also reacted, what he said about Sinful Bora, how he's weak, because if not, he would have done something despite he knew the stone were coming directly to his eyes, but he pretended to play, oh, a decent guy. And I want you guys to watch the video.
You see, Fubara, it's good to make them pursue you. You should leave that place. You are not fit to hold power. Because person who fit to hold power will go no. They should give it to somebody else. You can't be that governor again. Just go. If you want to rebel, you need to have a plan. You want to rebel against Wike and you don't get plan? That time when you rebel, I feel say, okay, you don't get strategy. If not me, hey, bro, what I was even expecting, I no see him. The mistake you made was letting Wike land that state. That was your mistake. Wike when land that state was the mistake. You see that week when Wike they come, if to say na me, now that week they renovate airport. You go see like 15 caterpillars where they don't break wrong way. Now in the nights they'll break them, in the morning they'll come say they want to arrange them. Because if it's Wike, that is something Wike can do. They go don't break wrong way, plain wrong way in the night. In the morning they'll say that they fix them, say na hurricane or say na earthquake. Then they don't feel land. For like 6-8 months first, nobody feel land for airports. We all know say they no agree follow road come. You don't sound your hand. First, they're gonna say, okay, yes, this one ready for them. You just do me. Now they don't come out to you. Now, let's go back to the state of emergency where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared.
By this declaration, the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Similaye Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the House of Assembly state are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months. In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Eboket Ibas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state in the interest of the good people of Rivers State.
The sole proprietor that they put in charge of Rivers State, his name is Vice Admiral Onok Ete Ibas, sole administrator of Rivers State. See his picture, him and Wike, when Wike was still very fat. See another picture with him and Wike. See another picture with him and Wike when Wike was still very fat. So it means that him and Wike, they've known themselves for a long time. They've known themselves for a long time. That is to say, now Wike still even suggests this guy for Tinubu. That's why I'm asking, who is the president? That if anything Wike asks, Wike gets. Do you understand? Wike even said something in this a video the other day when he go Rivers State. When he talks, say, I don't need to be in Rivers to be in charge. You know the confidence when Wike take talk that thing. So this guy now where they put in charge of Rivers State, we can say, nah, Wike get him. because they go way back. Now, let's go back to the state of emergency where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared. To interest you to know that while they were declaring that state of emergency, in the same breath, Wike has revoked the land of PDP, Wadata Plaza, PDP Secretariat, the popular PDP Secretariat, in Wuse Zone 5, close to Sky Memorial. That plaza have been there. PDP have been using it for as long as I can remember, because 2009, 2010, I was selling Indomie in Sky Memorial, opposite Savannah Bank. I was selling Indomie there. I did hustle for there, so I know PDP Secretariat. This was how many years ago? At least, I think 15 years ago. I did sell Indomie for the hustle Indomie there. So Wike now don't revoke the land, so they will demolish that Wadata Plaza. So it is safe to say Wike is in PDP to destroy PDP. So what they are approaching now is one party system. Now their plan with that one party system. They'll take charge, one party, only APC. Now it's looking as if that thing when they always talk, say, it be like say Wike won't be president 2032. It be like saying now what he want to happen. Because the way they are doing now only God know the deal where him and president get, where make president they do anything when he wants. But guess what? That 2032, Wike, you also need to be careful. Because your own betrayal feel bad. Except if you no contest. But if you get plan to contest 2032, you have to watch your back. Because I smell betrayal, bro. God will keep you alive. Good health. God will give you good health, and it will give every one of us good health. 2032, I can't wait for that day. Unless you don't contest. But if you contest, the betrayal go bad. And your own crashing. You go they explain tire. But according to my brother Bonner Boy, no evidence. Now, some people say it is not legal for the president to remove Fubara. It is not president to remove Fubara. It is not illegal. It is not legal. Yes, but what can you people do? All the youths do is to talk, blah, 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 blah. That's all. You people pay little or no interest in politics. And it is politics that controls the country. There's politics in every sector. But the government ain't the biggest. That's why I pick one station. I say, okay, which side I want the attack? Okay, all these people where they scam people, make I pick that department. All the people where they do this, do that, make I pick that department, make I leave government. Because I don't say government won't be play. But if you don't talk, they'll say, APC have paid him. This one. Una no go understand. Make we follow the jam, they shout for government, hey, this one and this. For this youth where they don't care about the country. Man, they jump, they follow, and they do, the president is, yeah. For these youths who are no serious, when you say they'll turn back again, if they won't arrest you or something, they'll turn back to insult you. They'll come back to insult you. Now you are saying it's not legal. It's not legal. Shut up, you mouth. Shut up.
However, the river people, the militants, are taking a drastic action by blasting pipelines. Now there is chaos between the military and the River State youths, the militants. You know, they vow that if Sin Fubara is suspended or impeached, there will be anarchy in their own state. And that is already happening everywhere now. The soldiers are everywhere and the militants are doing their own. Now, people are saying they don't know where about Sin Fubara. But a lot of people are asking, Nigerians are asking, are we still in democracy or dictatorship rules? They tell you what to do, you do it. By law, everybody are stating the fact that Tinubu don't have rights to remove or unseat or suspend a sitting state governor. He was elected the same way Tinubu was elected. But Nesi Wike is doing his own bid. Tinubu has been the most terrible president since the history of Nigeria. And I believe if there is any other person worse than Tinubu, it will be Devil. I don't even think Devil is worst or even have a clue close to what Tinubu is doing to Nigeria right now.
We found peace finally. And then today you come out and you see army people driving around like there's something going on that is wrong. This is not right. This is not right. We are at peace. Let our children, let our families be at peace. Let people go to work at peace. All these army people driving about, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right. Our governor is peaceful. We love him. Leave us in peace. What is all this? Emotion is not in politics. We agree. But we want peace. We want peace. Is it too much to us? This is not right. This is not fair. This is not right.
Your name now?
Yeah, I moved back to this state. I ran away before.
They are appointing a retired man who is close to Wike himself, and they think that will give them access to the resources. Rivers people are going to resist them. We are not violent people, but we're going to resist them, and there are several ways to make a statement. So I don't think he's going to, this is a Pyrrhic victory for Wike and Tinubu. Let's do things the proper way. We have a situation where we are talking about governance, good governance for that matter. This state is so blessed.
And that is why they want to remove the governor. Tinubu was not elected. Tinubu was selected. And he was forcefully declared. And that is why he can come out again and declare nonsense. Because it was nonsense declaration that made him president. And that's why he came again and declared nonsense again here.
But there's calmness in Rivers State.
Which calmness? It has been, the River State has been calm. River State has been calm. River State has been calm. Are we not living in River State? Have you ever heard crisis in River State? Where will you come and declare state of emergency?
Like I earlier said, probably the state declaration was to further
what? When the case is in court, further what?
To de-escalate.
You know, Wike is control River State, control almost all the whole Nigeria. So seems they don't label him, so nothing else again. But it's not a good thing.
Fubara is too gentle, and the opponent has been watching him, and they are working against him because he's too quiet. They have tested on it. Immediately, Supreme Court announced their rubbish judgment. He quickly accepted, and that is why they now knew that when Tinubu will wake up and also announce his own rubbish, that he will accept it, that nothing is going to happen. Before this time, even before the Supreme Court judgment, Wike did party in his house, celebrating before that useless judgment. Now, before this impeachment, Wike has also come out in television and declared that heaven will not fall. Simply mean they have already planned it, that they are going to impeach him. Now, why are they impeaching the governor?
They didn't impeach. It's a suspension.
It's a suspension. We know what they are playing. Why will they suspend him? Why will they declare state of emergency? Are we fighting war in River State?
To avert
what? What are they averting? Escalation of what? Is there war?
It's to de-escalate.
To de-escalate what? If Fubara and the House of Assembly are having quarrel, is it not a political quarrel? Are they fighting? Are we fighting war in River State? Are we having a natural disaster? Where in the Constitution that says when the governor is having a loggerhead with the House of Assembly, when the case is already in court, that the president will come and declare state of emergency?
There's a Supreme Court verdict judgment
ruling what? Yes. If the Supreme Court have ruled that the House of Assembly should come back and the local government is non and void, which the governor have implemented. So on what ground Tinubu is standing to declare state of emergency?
Why is Tinubu obeying Nesiwinke? A lot of you know that Nesiwinke have every details on how he becomes president. That's how he even become prime minister. It's a bid and bid game. I know this, and you must obey me. And it happened. And why is Nesiwinke controlling or trying to control River State? Because he knows that he's going to contest in year 2031. And if he contests, he needs money. And the only way he can get this money is through the current state governor embezzle and keep on giving him all the resources that he requires to campaign after Tinubu leave office. Now, the current state governor said, I want to work for my state. It becomes a problem because this was not their bid. Anyway, now that Tinubu took over power and said that all the local government, everybody that was working under Fubara, and they invade and remove them. Normally, if it is by law, let's say something happens, Fubara break the law, the deputy would have become a governor.
So why are you tagging the governor and the deputy? What has the deputy done wrong in all of this? So there's a plot, there's somebody's dream that must come true because Perhaps he thinks he's bigger than the rest of the world. So what has the president been listening to? Who has he been talking to? Because it looks as if, everything is wrong with Fubara, but nothing is wrong with his minister. Before that, the EK Clark died, he called him and he said, call your minister to order. He was governor when he was fighting Chibuike Rotimi. Rivers people stood by him because what Rivers people do not like is oppression of any kind. If you have finished and you have to go let the next person serve. You don't stick yourself on top of the person's head, yelling down. What is the problem? Can Wike come out and tell people what the problem is, other than saying, I made you a governor? Other than that, even by that statement alone, shouldn't he be in prison? How do you single-handedly make anybody? Isn't somebody supposed to become governor by the votes of the people? Is anybody supposed to be anything by just one man's singular act? So it's just sad that the lawyers will give interpretations to this. It's just very sad. All morning, all I've been doing is trying to read the Constitution again as to whether the president has the right to suspend the governor. The two of them were voted in, with whatever other way they want to put it. That's what they want all of us to believe, that they were voted. So let's take that their sentence and run with it. Does he have the right? He perhaps has rights to declare state of emergency if there are emergencies, right, for which this needs to be declared. But up to Tuesday, there was none. There was absolutely none. I reside in Port Harcourt. I go out every single day to do my work, and all of you know how my work can be. It's inside every bush and every street and everything. So no, there was no emergency. And we haven't heard any news of any blown up pipe until they came in on Saturday and left. So they should tell us what happened. Who blew up the pipe? They need to tell us. Asari Dokubo had made a statement. He said he called his boys back because he knew they wanted to set him up, and he will not allow them do that. He's now an amenable of the source, so he will not. So they should tell us, not put the blame on Tinala Yifobara. And the Sim didn't come out to say anything. What is he supposed to say? Everything he has ever said has been used against him. So,
But Tinubu did not allow it. He removed the deputy, removed everything. If the governor disobeyed the law, the deputy has never in every way speak about this whole issue. He should have become the next governor or an active governor till the 6-month suspension expired. But they knew what they are doing. They need this money. They need every resources in that River State ahead of 2027 election and ahead of presidential election coming 2031.
My fellow Nigerians, abeg make una no vex. You know say this Nigeria problem no dey finish. Nigeria's problem is like Z word. It's extraordinary every day. It is new every morning. I thank Comrade Omoele Sowore as he go with some lawyers. They follow the copper girl, Miss Rita Ushe, go her local government for Etiosa. They say they reach there, the LGI no day. We go continue to follow that case and any other one, because as Nigerian youths, to demand for good governance is not a crime. And this country, we not die here, we live here. And anything when Nigeria go better because of me and you. But the one where I won't come and talk today, where don't they butter my mind? The way we as Nigerians, we they keep quiet. In the name of God, Nigerians, what is going on in Rivers State? What exactly is the sin, the crime, or the offense of the Rivers State Governor, Sasiminalayi Fubara? Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you are the president of the country. According to INEC 2023, INEC, you won Rivers State election, presidential election, meaning they voted for you. Mr. President, at the minimum, you owe the people of Rivers State peace and security. Mr. President, who is angry with the people of Rivers State? Is it the Rivers State people or it is someone else? What is the unforgivable sin of the Rivers State governor? Because I never see where Rivers State people, they protested, they vex for their governor. The entire controversy and katakata where they go on for Rivers State begin with one person, the former governor. And Mr. President, that former governor is a minister in your cabinet. Mr. President, you should at least be able to reign on your political subjects. One person, you dey APC, you dey PDP, you feel dey Labour, you want control everything. The entire issues going on because of one person's interest. Fubara this, Fubara that, Fubara this. The SIM card, the seminalize SIM where they talk so. Now you bring SIM card. Now you bring and come give Rivers people. I am not a fan. I didn't vote for Fubara. I'm not from Rivers State. But at least even if the governor has done anything, let due process be followed. Election go soon come 2027. Allow Rivers State people the opportunity. If they feel say the SIM card no they work again, by 2027, may they come out the SIM card, change their network. In the name of God, why plunge the entire state into anarchy and crisis because of one person's interest? One person won't control judiciary, won't control law enforcement, won't control everything. Before you know, it will be unnecessary loss of innocent life. Because this one why they talk is not about the politicians. They will be okay. Their children are overseas. They are covered. It is me and ordinary Nigerians like myself that will begin to pay with our lives for the recklessness and selfishness of politicians. In the name of God. That same Rivers State, there have been other former governors. Saad Dili was there from 1999 to 2007. He supported Governor Wike during his tenure. Celestino Meya was there for a few months. He was removed before Amechi came. Governor Wike, Rivers State has given you the opportunity. You were governor, chairman of Obiakpo local government, chief of staff to Amechi. You became governor, you became minister for education, became governor for 8 years, have become minister for FCT. A state that have given you the opportunity to become everything you want to become politically. At least, no matter the circumstance, give them the opportunity to experience peace. It cannot always be about personal interest. Let Rivers State people enjoy development and good governance. If their SIM card bad, make it bad for their head now. I tell God beg you. Nigerian leaders, why are we this callous in our actions? To destabilize an entire state and an entire region because of one person's personal agenda. Mr. President Tinubu, even in Lagos State, when Governor Ambode, he went against the powers that be. At least they allow him to finish in 4 years. Then he did not get the ticket again. Let the governor of Rivers State do his time. If him people tire for him, make they come out the SIM card. Make innocent people no go they die. Is it a crime to be from Nigeria? Is it a crime to be from Rivers State? Nigerian politicians, if you don't fear God, don't you value human life? One person won't control everybody. We must come to the point, Nigerians, where we build strong institutions and not strong men. Men who want to hijack entire institutions, and if things do not go their way, everybody must go down for it. Now, wow, Nigerian leaders. Now, wow, Nigerian politicians. Please, President Tinubu, this is a humble appeal from myself to you on behalf of myself and my future wife and unborn children. Save the people of Rivers State from crisis. You call former governor and current governor to sign peace accord or to sign whatever. Let them follow through with it and let governance continue in Rivers State. In the name of God, allow SIM card to finish in tenor. Anywhere where the network finish, may they come out and change another one in a due process. May God help Nigerians. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
Anyway, I will leave you guys with the rest video while waiting for you to comment your thoughts. What do you think about how Tinubu is going about this whole case? And what is it trying to achieve in those cases? And how is Nesiwike controlling Tinubu? Remember, maybe they have an issue. Nesiwike knew that, okay, this is what he wants. Nesiwike knew how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu becomes president. So Bola Ahmed cannot say anything. He controls him right now. Anyway, I will leave you guys to decide. What do you guys think about this whole case? And I'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section. Until we meet again, stay tuned, Plan B TV. Peace out.
Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State following the political crisis rocking the state. Well, on Tuesday, the president, during a nationwide broadcast, suspended the governor of the state, Sim Fubara, his deputy, Ngozi Odu, and all members of the Rivers State House of Assembly for an initial period of 6 months.
By this declaration, the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the House of Assembly state are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months. In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Advocate Ibas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state and the interests of the good people of Rivers State. For the avoidance of doubt, this declaration does not affect the judicial arm of Rivers State, which shall continue to function in accordance with their constitutional mandate.
Well, the president's nomination of retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas as the Rivers State Administrator has been met with reactions. Ibas, who is a former Chief of Naval Staff, will be responsible for overseeing the affairs of the state for 6 months. The new Rivers State Administrator served as Chief of Naval Staff from 2015 to 2021 and also served as Nigeria's ambassador to Ghana, while photos emerged shortly after the president's nationwide broadcast showing what appears to be a close relationship between the new Rivers Administrator and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who is at the center of the crisis rocking Rivers State. I mean, Dr. Abati, I heard your beautiful submission early this morning. Kudos to you. I think that you unbottled the whole situation in Rivers State and actually saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu acted unconstitutional. Well, the NBA has released a statement as well. And the statement reads in part, a declaration of emergency does not automatically dissolve or suspend elected state governments. The Constitution does not empower the president to unilaterally remove or replace elected officials. Such actions amount to an unconstitutional usurpation of power and a fundamental breach of Nigeria's federal structure. The NBA firmly asserts that the situation in Rivers State, though politically tense, does not meet the constitutional threshold for the removal of elected officials. For a state of emergency to be declared, Section 305 of the Constitution outlines specific conditions, and I'll read them. It includes 1. War or external aggression against Nigeria. 2. Imminent danger of invasion of war. 3. A breakdown of public order and safety to such an extent that ordinary legal measures are insufficient. 4. A clear danger to Nigeria's existence. 5. Occurrence of any disaster or natural calamity affecting a state or a part of it. 6. Such other public danger that constitutes a threat to the Federation. Well, the NBA questions whether the political crisis in Rivers State has reached the level of a complete breakdown of law and order, warranting the removal of the governor and his administration. Well, reactions have trailed, and I'll take Atiku Abubakar's tweet. In a lengthy tweet, Atiku wrote on X, the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State reeks of political manipulation and outright bad faith. Anyone paying attention to the unfolding crisis knows that Bola Tinubu has been a vested partisan actor in the political turmoil engulfing Rivers. His blatant refusal or calculated negligence in preventing this escalation is nothing short of disgraceful. Beyond the political scheming in Rivers, the brazen security breaches that led to the condemnable destruction of national infrastructure in the state land squarely on the president's desk. Tinubu cannot evade responsibility for the chaos his administration has either enabled or failed to prevent. It is an unforgivable failure that under Tinubu's watch, the Niger Delta has been thrown back into an era of violent unrest and instability, undoing the hard-won peace secured by the late President Umaru Yar'Adua. Years of progress have been recklessly erased in pursuit of selfish political calculations. If federal infrastructure in Rivers has been compromised, the president bears full responsibility, punishing the people of Rivers State just to serve the political gamesmanship between the governor and Tinubu's enablers in the federal government is nothing less than an assault on democracy and must be condemned in the strongest terms. An assault on democracy, Ayo. That is how Atiku Abubakar has termed this unconstitutional declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. Well, before I come to you guys, another reaction that trailed Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State is a 2013 video of former President Goodluck Jonathan when he declared a state of emergency in 3 northeastern states, Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe, over worsening insecurity, well, according to former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Bello Adoke. Jonathan did not suspend the governors of the states because it was unconstitutional. He dedicated a whole chapter to this issue in his memoir, Burden of Service. Well, here's that video.
Following recent developments in the affected states, it has become necessary for government to take extraordinary measures to restore normalcy. After wide consultations and in exercise of the power conferred on me by the provisions of Section 305, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I hereby declare a state of emergency in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. Accordingly, the Chief of Defense Staff has been directed to immediately deploy more troops to these states for more effective internal security operations.
All right, Dr. Vati, you were trending with that video because you delivered a brilliant submission on the reason why the president did not, suspend the 3 governors at the time, because obviously it is unconstitutional. And like I said, the former Attorney General of the Federation in his book, I urge the viewers to grab a copy of the book, Burden of Service, The Reminiscences of Nigeria's Former Attorney General, published in 2019 by Kling Street, London and New York. Well, a reaction followed that announcement, a declaration of emergency back in 2013. And this excerpt from the Daily Trust, according to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the time, if we can pull up that excerpt from Daily Trust, Tinubu, who was a former Lagos state governor, had said in that excerpt that the imposition of emergency rule in 3 states is a dangerous trend to the art of governance and a deliberate ploy to subvert constitutional democracy. He said in a statement from his media office yesterday that by declaring a state of emergency in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states, President Jonathan intimidated and emasculated the governors of these states. Imagine that at that time.
Like
yes, absolutely. And he also said that Jonathan's intention was to muzzle the elected governments of the states for what is clearly a display of unpardonable mediocrity. And guess what? Diabolic partisanship geared towards 2015. Just like what is actually happening. And that's the conversation, Rufai, that this whole, suspension, removal of office, if you may call it, is geared towards, the 2027. It's politically motivated. Dr. Vati, you have said it's unconstitutional. Former Attorney General of the Federation has said it's unconstitutional. I mean, it's a huge conversation, and I feel like we're going to be here speaking. We're hoping that the President, the National Assembly, and the Attorney General of the Federation is listening to Nigerians, because this really is trampling on our democracy. Let me just take this incident, because this is what the conversation is all about whether or not Governor Fubara acted properly before the suspension or removal, or whether or not it is Wike's fault. But you know that we saw a video of Governor Fubara threatening violence against members of the Rivers State House of Assembly if they proceeded with the impeachment, has surfaced online. Let's take a look at that video. I think that the governor made these remarks weeks ago during the inauguration of the state quarters in Port Harcourt.
In as much as I don't subscribe to violence, when the time comes for us to take a decision, I will lead the cause for that decision. Let me say it again, and let me say it again. I'm not scared of anything. The worst that will happen is me to leave the office. It's not. Am I leaving the earth? Is it going to stop me from existing? So I'm not even bothered about that. But the right thing must be done and must be said when the opportunity is given to us.
You heard him there. He said the worst that could happen is for him to leave the office. And what has happened now? I mean, it appears that he actually ushered in this sort of removal from office. I mean, that video is actually trending. But another thing that President Tinubu had said during his nationwide broadcast was because of, there's this sort of, insecurity, as he claimed, that is one of the reasons why he had declared that state of emergency. Well, on Monday, we saw an explosion that rocked a section of the Trans-Niger pipeline in Bodo community in Gokana local government area of Rivers State. The Trans-Niger pipeline is a key federal transport line supplying crude oil to the Bonny export terminal in the state and plays a crucial role in crude oil export with a capacity of 1.25 million barrels per day. Well, here's a video that surfaced on Tuesday morning showing thick black smoke billowing into the sky as flames rapidly spread into the mangrove.
What's happening in Ogoni again? Gokana Bonny Road by Julius Berger Junction. What is happening? Look at gas flaring. What's happening in Share and Ogoni again? What is it? Would Ogoni people die for you people? What is it? It's too bad. It's too bad of you. Why? No.
It remains unclear what really caused that explosion, and I also heard that there were other explosions that have been underreported at this point. Meanwhile, a video showing multiple military vans filled with armed operatives heading towards the Rivers State Government House in Port Harcourt, just moments after President Tinubu declared a state of emergency, has surfaced online. Let's take a look. State of emergency in full glare. Let me take this reaction from Brother Bat before I come to you guys. He wrote, "The Democrat invites the military to power in Rivers State. Nigeria, federal government is in charge of securing oil pipeline, but President Tinubu blames Governor Fubara for not deploying security to protect the..." It is fairly clear that Wike and Tinubu have a script.